Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail.
Oh, boy. Hey, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's so great to have all of you tune us in and turn us on. You know, today you get an hour with me, then you get an hour with Laura, Richard, and Andy. And, boy, I'm telling you, we just are kicking it up. I love it. But first, let me say hi to Mr. B. Hi, Benny.
Hi, Pat.
How you doing today?
Very well. Thank you very much for asking. And yourself?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. Right on.
Got a question yesterday that came in the instant feedback that I didn't see.
Okay.
Yeah, soon enough, and I apologize for that. Yeah. So Adrian from Moreno Valley, California. Adrian, thank you. Question came in: what pH level did Dr. Pat drink, and how long was it before she saw the difference? So here's the deal. My buddy Dan yesterday started to give me the water. So I started to drink the water, and only for a short period of time was I on the lower level. I went right to the higher level. I think it's 9.5 or something like that. Coincidentally, to answer this question, I had just gotten my blood work done, a full panel. So it had a lot of information on it about stuff. And then I did this, one month went by, and for whatever reason, they needed to run the blood work again. And now I don't remember why they did that, but they did. So the answer to the question from Adrian is this. Within 1 month of drinking the 9.5 water, the way my buddy Dan told me, like a lot of it, my blood work and some of it changed rather drastically. So it was so much so that they didn't think I had the right blood work. So a month later, we had to do it again. But anyway, we're going to be catching all of you up on that. Shorter answer is, yeah, I haven't looked back and haven't really noticed any change except for positive. So there we have with that. But that really ties into today's show because we're talking about healing today. And we're continuing the conversation about healing. And the conversation that we're going to continue is something else I learned along the way in my own healing crisis/journey. And that is there are many, many, many things available to us. I didn't know what they were in 2004. And I started to learn them because I had this radio show that was once called Crust Busting Your Way to an Awesome Life, that crusty stuff. Crust busting with a jackhammer, that thing. And we still do crust busting on the show now. And the bottom line is that when you have a need to learn, you learn. And that is really the direction of the show. Many of you have said, we want you to tell us more about crystal healing. We want you to tell us more about energy, about quantum physics, about what does it mean to lay out a life path of vibrancy, of health and well-being. And, you know, for those of you today, get ready for this show because it is so great, you know, to be here, to be able to talk with somebody that doesn't just do this once in a while, somebody that says, this is my life. You know, I'm looking at my own healing journey. Writer, speaker, modern wellness and spirituality, certified Reiki practitioner, entrepreneur, Kiera Fogg joining us here today because this is something not only that she's passionate about it, this is a way of life for her. You know, whether you're familiar with her in Oprah Magazine or Vogue or People or Good Housekeeping, all of the above, one of the things you should know is that somehow, some way, she was tapped on the shoulder, and now she gets to help all of us understand the power of healing. Today, fasten your seatbelt for the Crystal Gridwork. We've got copies of her fabulous book to give away, that and much more. Kiera, great to have you.
Great to be here, Dr. Pat.
Sorry, it took me a little time. I had to get a little caught up there with Adrian and from yesterday's show. But it's so good to have you here. I want to ask you this question. I just gave a brief synopsis of you. We're going to talk about the book. But I always love to explore the story. Recently, we've been called the Disney of podcasting, and I actually had to have somebody explain that to me. But it's about storytelling. For 15 years, we've been doing this. Here's my question. Given everything you've done, given your passion, your purpose, what are some of the challenges? What are some of the obstacles, Kiera, that you've had to overcome to bring you to this very moment?
You know, I think it's so interesting that you started off the show talking about how a crisis sort of propels you into the need to move forward, because that's really what sparked my own personal journey with crystals. I was a stay-at-home mom of 3 boys. I loved being a mother, but it was overwhelming, and I found myself, like I've always struggled with anxiety my whole life, but I had a moment where I went to the grocery store, and I was in the lineup, and I started to have a panic attack. Of course, I didn't know what was going on. My heart started to race. I felt like my face was just going to melt right off, and I was going to slip right out of my skin, and I thought, oh my goodness, I'm dying. And I called 911 like it was a big scene, a big, like, humiliating experience. But it really forced me to tune in. And I think so many of us, we go through our lives not tuning in to what we're really feeling. And sometimes it takes a crisis, and we're so busy trying to kind of shield ourselves from the pain when the pain is actually what brings us to the next spot. So that event really forced me to sort of look at my life, and that's what I realized. You know, I love being a mom, but this is not enough for me. And so I started to think of, you know, what else do I need? How do I need to take care of myself? And that's when I started to really become interested in healing crystals, and started to collect them and keep them around the house. And soon enough, they were just in every corner of my house. And that's something that I hear a lot from many of my customers, is that it's sort of a pivotal moment or a crisis that starts their journey with healing crystals.
Yeah, and actually mine too. I mean, it's so funny we're talking about this, because if you came in my house right now, like if this was one of our Facebook Live shows, you would see crystals everywhere. But
really?
It's incredible. But here's the thing. I'm a girl from New York, so this whole thing and my draw to crystals, I don't really understand it. And I don't claim to know what you know about them. I just know that I'm so drawn to them. What do you make of that?
You know what? I get asked the question all the time, how do crystals work, and what's the science of it? And people really want to know. They want a scientific explanation. But what I think is really beautiful about crystals is that they force us to shut our minds off and tune into how they make us feel. Like, I never in my wildest dreams thought that I would be the crystal lady on the radio show. Like, I was a regular, you know, stay-at-home mom. I'm still a stressed out business owner. Like, I never in my wildest dreams pictured myself in this spot. But what I have learned is that crystals, they're an accessible tool. Like, we don't have to fully understand them for them to work for us, because we are the power. And when we learn to tune into our own emotions and our own energy, that's where the magic happens.
Wow. I love that we're talking about this, because, you know, this is really an entire network that we have built. This team is built on positive mojo, on energy, even before I even had a sense of it. I mean, it took me getting sick 6 months after I started to buy a lot of airtime, which everybody wanted to have me committed, right? Yeah. but something about it I knew. I think crystals are the same way.
Yeah.
You're introducing us to, I think, this idea of crystal grid work is so important because two reasons. One, it's like the network. It pulls all positivity into a vibration and frequency, no matter what you talk about, sex or spirituality, it's in this one place. And I don't know that we have a grid, but the idea of grid work and harnessing the energy is brilliant that you've put together. How did this evolve for you?
You know what? This was the book itself was something that sort of fell on my lap. I had always, for the past, I guess, 7 or so years, had been building grids and just really interested in them. But when I first saw a crystal grid, I think I was like on Pinterest or something. And it was just this beautiful design, this beautiful pattern that looks more like art than anything. And when I saw it, I thought, well, that looks really complicated and basically, not for me because I have no idea how to do that. I don't know anything about I had never heard of sacred geometry and what that was. But when I started to really delve into it, what I learned was that it's really simple. All it really is taking crystals that really mean something to you and mean something to your life and your goals and placing them in a sacred pattern that correlates with the results that you want to achieve in your life. And that's really it. You're creating an altar and a place to go to every day to set your intentions. And it really is, all it is a tool. I mean, I'm surrounded by crystals all day long. I have a business. We sell crystals, and so we just have crystals galore. And I can be completely stressed out and frazzled, and it's not like if I'm around a bunch of crystals, they're going to do anything for me. But when I tune in, when I set my intentions and I use the crystals, that's really when I see the results. And so crystals, while they have an energetic frequency that's very constant. We can talk about that later. But it really is. It's us, and it's us setting our intentions and then allowing the crystals to help us achieve our desired results.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit because this is so kind of cool, right? The book is Crystal. For those of you just tuning in, just want you to know, Crystal Gridwork and the Power of Crystals and Sacred Geometry to Heal, Protect, Inspire, Kiera Fogg. It's kind of funny. I want to do this before we go to break. So, when Linda comes over, she's been my best friend for like decades, right? She comes in my house. I got crystals everywhere, but I have them in a particular, I don't know, I don't want to say arrangement, but the arrangement can change. But the energetic geometry of things, I'm a little particular about.
Yeah.
And I'm not a Virgo, but it's kind of like I've got to have the bamboo over there with the crystal over here and this over here. Now, no idea if it makes sense, but that's where you come in. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about crystals, crystal grid work. Couple questions I have. I love the geometry of things. Here's a question for all of you. Are you stuck in your own geometric not knowing? Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Tune in to Lucid Planet Radio with Dr. Kelly Neff. This hit show will illuminate your senses and empower you beyond your daily stressors and hardships. Renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly will captivate you with far-reaching topics and amazing guests as you wake to the greatest version of yourself. Learn to tap into your intuitions, think critically about our world, heal emotional and psychological wounds, and follow your passions to live your dreams. The Lucid Planet. Welcome home. Visit lucidplanetradio.com for more information.
Tune in to E3 Influence Radio. Own your impact. Master your world. In this new hit show, Sarah Luce, empowerment coach and spiritual mentor, teaches us how to achieve our greatest potential to positively affect everything and everyone. The time is now to enlighten our minds, empower our hearts, and take energized action to raise the consciousness of our planet. Sarah shows us how with simple, easy-to-implement steps. To find out more about Sarah Luce and her E3 Influence program, visit sarahluce.com.
Interested in deepening your spiritual practice? The School for Esoteric Studies offers online training to spiritual seekers from all paths of life and individual coaching. Our courses synthesize Eastern and Western spiritual traditions based on meditation, study, and service applied to everyday life. To learn more about our courses and services, please visit www.esotericstudies.net.
Are you searching? Looking for a sign? A message you need to hear? From the great unknown? From the most mysterious place that is the most familiar to your soul in the depths of who you are? The universe put someone here to talk to, someone God gave a blessing to, that you may find insight with. TheAngelLady.net. 1-800-323-1790. 1-800-323-1790.
To see your life from an angel's perspective, book a personal consultation with Claire Candy Huff, angelic walk-in angel Ariel at Angel Healing House. Candy provides intuitive counseling, Reiki, and angel readings in person in Los Angeles or nationally and internationally via phone or Skype. She will channel the practical tools you need to transform your life. Call now 831-277-3716 or visit angelhealinghouse.com.
If you're dealing with fear and anxiety, you've probably noticed that the more you fight these emotions, the stronger they seem to get. Dr. Friedemann Schaub, the author of The Fear and Anxiety Solution, explains that instead of suppressing, we need to identify and resolve the deeper subconscious root causes of fear and anxiety. His personal breakthrough program has helped thousands worldwide to overcome their emotional challenges. To learn more, visit thefearandanxietysolution.com and schedule your free consultation with Dr. Schaub now.
Oh, Benny went old school on me right there, Benny, didn't you?
Well, I mean, you have to, if you're talking about crystals, why not bring in crystal blue persuasion? I mean, it only fits the picture, right?
It does fit the picture because you're the man. Benny's been fitting the picture like that perfectly for 15 years with me. I'm so glad.
Longest relationship you've had.
It is. Thank
You're welcome.
you. Oh, my gosh. It is so true. Oh, God. Hey, everybody. I am so thrilled. Kiera Fogg joining me here today. Her book, amazing, Crystal Gridwork, because I was talking with her during the break about the book and about the grid work. And I have crystals in my home. I have them in my office. But I didn't understand the geometric or the quantum aspect of now taking crystals and geometry and really harnessing the power. And we're going to talk about that. But before we do, how can people get a copy of their book, especially if they don't call in today? How can they buy a copy of the book? And how could they find out more about you and where they can get crystals from you?
Mm-hmm. Well, the book is available at barnesandnoble.com, so just Googling Crystal Gridwork, Barnes & Noble, or on Amazon. And if they want to start building their collection of crystals, we have a wonderful, it's called the Intention Box, so it's the Crystal Collector's Box at littleboxofrocks.com. And to learn more about myself, it's kierafogg.com.
Yeah, and I'm going to spell it. It's Kiera for you guys out there, and Fogg is with 2 G's, Fogg, just so you know. Okay, so here we go. Ready? I was kind of sharing a story with you because people come in my house and they look around, and there's honestly, there's crystals everywhere. I don't have a table that doesn't have at least one on them. Most of them have 2 or 3 on them. I've collected them over time since 04, really. And yet the question I get asked is, how do you know that you've put them in the right place? And then if I look at your book, here's what you say. You say a healing crystal grid builds energetic map that can create real changes in our lives. I don't know whether I'm putting them in the right place, the wrong place, the right corner, by the right plant. I even put one in a plant and somebody says, oh, my God, is it going to kill your plant? Help me here.
Well, you know what? I get that question all the time. That's probably the most common question we get with at our crystal shop is, how do I know if I'm doing this right? And to be quite honest, no one knows. I don't know. Who's the person that decides? Who's the one that decides what's right and what's wrong? It's you. It's you and how you feel. And over the break, you were explaining to me that you place your crystals in a specific way, and if they're moved, you feel off. That's how you know. And so that's the beautiful thing about crystals is they force us to tune into our own energy. And so I really want people to abandon that concept of right and wrong and just tune in to how they feel.
Yeah. This is really for, most of us that have entered this world, and let's just call it, have entered this world, late in life or later in life, as I say. It's kind of exciting, but it's also harnessing the power of something that works. And I want to talk about this for a minute with you. What you have, first of all, the book is so beautiful, the colors, the pictures, and I'm so glad that you have pictures of crystals in here. That's number one. But you also do something really cool. You put case studies in here. And I was drawn by a case study in the book to just really talk to the point. A message from the angels about Joni's father, who had recently passed away. And I want to ask you about this. What signs, what should we know about this? Because I think we limit the potentiality and the possibilities that crystals might bring to us.
Well, for those of you who haven't seen that anecdote in the book, that was one of our customers, Joni. She'd received our Halo bouquet, which is our Angels Are With You bouquet. And she started the message in the bouquet. Each box has a secret message that is written by the sender, and it's I can't remember the exact words, but her friend had said like forever and always your little button, because her father, who had recently passed away, always called her his little button. So she tucked one of the crystals into her purse in her pocket. She was carrying it around with her and kind of forgot about it. And then after a while, she started to notice that she would find buttons everywhere. And so that was one of the stories that, our customers write in and they tell us these amazing anecdotes. And I think the wonderful thing about crystals and the magic of it is that they really sort of, whether it's at a subconscious level or maybe it opens our minds up to kind of, look at the world beyond what we see in the physical realm, they cause us to really tune into that kind of stuff. And she ended up finding buttons everywhere. So, we have so many amazing stories like that. And, I can't remember your question.
Well, no, that's exactly what it is. But I want to also, talk about what you've laid out in the book. And so a question just came in. And the question is, hi, Dr. Pat. This is Fran. Hi, Dr. Pat. Hi, Fran. Okay. How do I know what crystals to use? I have a number of sales conversations on the table, and I want to harness the energy to close them. Good question, Fran.
Yes. So there are a number of different ways to learn about our crystals. Of course, the book lays out all the different types of crystals. Like each crystal has a different energy lattice. And what that means is when you look at it under a microscope, it actually has different shapes. So there's crystals with cubic shapes and triangular shapes and rectangular shapes. So all of these different energy lattices help us to attract different things. And that's all explained in the book. But all I did when I started to learn about crystals is I used good old Google. There are a number of books out there, but really, Google works great if you wanna type in a keyword for what did she say, closing a deal?
Yeah.
And then visit a crystal shop. Go to the crystal shop and see what crystal really appeals to you. And again, tune in to how it makes you feel and what you're drawn to.
I love it. Okay. Here's what I would love to talk with you about. In the book, it's not just a book about crystals. What you've done is you've created this way for us to learn about the power of the crystal grid. And what I mean by a crystal grid, if you actually look at the book, and we're going to give a copy of the book away right now, Benny, 1-800-930-2819, 1-800-930-2819. What Kiera has done is she is literally given in the book these templates, these geometric templates, right? One is a tripod of life, and there are so many others. Tell us how to work with the grid, if you could.
Right. And with the book, I really wanted to make it simple and demystify it because, like I was saying before, the Crystal Gridwork can look very complex when it really isn't. And so I wanted to create a really easy-to-follow step-by-step guide. So the book in the beginning breaks down the different shapes and what they mean and how to choose them. And you can actually take those shapes and you can photocopy them right straight from the book. We did that on purpose so that it was sort of life-size, and you could photocopy it and then place your crystals in the right spot. And then, if that's not enough, I have gone ahead and done all the work. So I've created 30 different grids for a variety of different goals and desires. So like the success grid, the creativity grid, the power grid, and it's all pre-designed and pre-selected crystals.
Wow. All right. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the grids. We're going to talk about the crystals. And we're going to talk about how all of this together is not just healing, but healing at layer after layer after layer. Let's take a short break, everyone. When we come back, we've got copies of the book to give away, and we are taking your questions as well. You've got a question about crystals, you got a question about the grid, you got a question about affirmations, you got a question about how it all works. You want to get some real live help right here on the show. 1-800-930-2819. 1-800-930-2819. When we come back, we're going to talk about some crystals maybe you don't know so much about. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Let It Go Radio. The future awaits you. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio as host Barbara Scheidegger explores the way to clarity, peace, and how to live a successful life on your terms by turning negative experiences into positive ones. Barbara's curiosity about the human experience drives her both personally and professionally. As a life coach, author, and renowned clinical hypnotherapist, Barbara knows how to move forward in a natural, organic way without side effects. If you want to grow, be sure to tune in to Let It Go Radio. To learn more, visit letitgohypnosis.com.
Practice living in wholeness with the body tune-up. 6 classes for $89 designed for radical self-healing and self-regeneration. Heal the deepest root of any challenge. The mental body was programmed in negativity, not good enough, separate from source. You're too much, you'll never make it. The emotional body holds all the pain and trauma of emotional suppression, all the pain from this life and lives past. The spiritual body is the place you connect with your higher power, your higher self, with the image and likeness of the One. The physical body houses and expresses the other 3 bodies every day. Go to CorneliaStephanie.com. Evolve, become a practitioner. We need to heal, integrate, and bring into wholeness and harmony the physical body, addressing all the other bodies in order to live in our true, authentic nature.
Dream on, fly high, and live adventurously on The Laura Meeks Show. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio as host Laura Meeks guides you in finding your unique gifts and bringing them to life. As a certified life coach, speaker, and veteran bomber pilot for the U.S. Air Force, Laura knows how to follow a dream. She is ready to support you so you can dream on, fly high, and live adventurously. For more information on Laura and her work, visit flyhighliving.com.
Stay juicy. Tune in to Your Juicy Love with me, Una Drake, co-hosting monthly with Dr. Pat, and every second Monday at 12 p.m. on Transformation Talk Radio. My show, Your Juicy Love, helps you find the dynamic, life-affirming love you've always wanted. Transform your relationships and bring peace, joy, and juicy, juicy love to planet Earth. For more information, visit unadrake.com.
Are you ready to attract abundance, release stress, look and feel younger, all from your smartphone? Get Pure Light, a free mobile app with audios that transmit powerful frequencies to shift anything in your life. Created by some of the world's top energy healers, these audios have created miracles, often quickly. Enjoy the latest in conscious technology and download Pure Light today. To find out more, visit purelightaudio.com.
Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Oh, my gosh. Kiera Fogg is in the house. The book is Crystal Gridwork, but it's not just a book. You know, during the break, she and I were talking, and what I discovered is, you know, I was saying that we always worry about, what are we going to get somebody? What are we going to do? And I went to, and please take a look for yourself. Go to littleboxofrocks.com, littleboxofrocks.com. And what you're going to see is that she has created these beautiful gift boxes. You know, there's a gift box for thank you. There's a gift box to get well. And we're going to talk a little bit about how these gift boxes were formed, what some of the crystals might be, and the energy around them. But before we do, again, you know, how can people get a copy of the book? It's available pretty much everywhere, right?
Yeah, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, any local bookstore will carry it. Also, littleboxofrocks.com.
Awesome. And so we're going to continue our conversation about the crystals, but also about how to harness the power of this through sacred geometry. But before we do, Mr. Benny.
Yes, we have a caller, Cliff, calling in from Seattle. He has a rock collection question. And so, Cliff, welcome to the show.
Hey, Cliff.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
How are you?
Good. How can we help you today? Good to hear from you.
Yes. My grandfather was head of the Rock and Mineral Show in Tucson, Arizona, and he had a museum quality collection that I inherited. So I've got quite an extensive collection, but I really don't understand. I mean, the minerals have a very powerful presence in the house, and they have these beautiful cases that they're displayed in. But I don't really know, you know, the significance behind the energies and even, you know, just what they mean.
Mm-hmm. So to break it down really simply, I mean, we all know that we're made up of energy, and to go a little bit deeper than that, even our organs, like our hearts and our livers, have different energetic frequencies, like they vibrate at different levels. As humans, that energetic frequency is always changing, and we're very easily influenced by our environment, our emotions, our thoughts. Crystals are a little bit different. They also, like anything else, hold an energetic frequency, but that frequency is more constant and it's more steady. And so when we bring that, when we bring crystals into our own sort of space, they have the power, if we're open to it, to influence our energy. And so I would ask you, Cliff, are there any crystals, like in your beautiful collection, that really calls to you? Is there one in particular that you find yourself drawn to? Are there a couple?
There's a couple. The wolfenite. There's a beautiful piece of wolfenite, and this amazing piece of fluorite that it's just amazing.
Uh-huh.
Those are the ones I'm drawn to. There's some others I really don't even know. They look like otherworldly. Having them all together displayed in this case with all the different colors, it makes me feel like I'm part of a unique world.
Yes. So I would encourage you then to go and research those crystals. And again, good old Google will work for that. Go and look into the meaning of those crystals, because sometimes there are hidden messages. I know wolfenite is really great for creativity. So if you're struggling in that area, perhaps it's there to help you. I mean, you're the one that is going to really know the answer to that. Nobody can tell you, but my advice would be to really tune in to the crystals and what calls to you. It's funny because I find that the crystals that we need the most always end up finding us. I was on a show in Canada called The Dragon's Den. It's like the Shark Tank of Canada. And I was so nervous to be on this show, and like I had practiced in front of all of my family and friends, and just thought, oh my goodness, like, am I going to get on air? Like, I already have an anxiety problem. Am I going to get on air and just pass out and be the girl who like passed out in front of a national audience? And right, like the day before I was leaving, one of my suppliers, they didn't know anything about the show. They just sent me a random gift, and it was a piece of sodalite carved in the shape of a dragon. And sodalite is really great for anxiety. It's something that when I was having my panic attacks before I started my business, I would tuck it in my pocket. And so maybe if I wasn't really tuned into crystals and what they meant, I would have missed that message. But perhaps there's a message there for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Can I ask a question too, as well? I mean, could this sacred geometry also play a role here?
Sacred geometry in what do you mean?
The grids that you have in the book.
Oh, well, yeah. So maybe we should go back a little bit and talk about what sacred geometry really is, because I know before I started into that world, it was like totally foreign.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Yeah, so if you pick up a flower or a leaf, or if you look at a beehive or a feather, they all have these shapes and patterns. And if you look at them really closely, they're repeated in these perfectly symmetrical patterns that they're a reflection of nature's divine order. And so when we take that divine order and we combine it with the energy of specific crystals, it's believed that it enhances that energy, and it becomes like a powerful sort of channel for that energy to help us make changes in our lives.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. Wow. I think that this is really, for those of you out there, I just want to say, and thank you for calling in. Thank you. Thank you for your questions. 1-800-930-2819. Questions, we're taking them. We also have another copy of the book to give away. Thank you all for doing that. Kiera, one of the things that I was talking about before, and we were talking about during the break, is that, there is the beautiful pictures that you've created in the book. And what I was noticing is I was looking at one of the grids, and I thought, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, those are crystals. Those are crystals. No, wait, that's a leaf. And I had noticed that the first time through the book. Would you take us a little bit on what should people think about when creating a grid, when putting this together? Would you mind?
Yes. So just like we were talking about before, there are no rules. Right. So I really encourage people to embellish their grids in whatever way they want. So there really is no rhyme or reason. If you want to place flower petals, like in the book, for instance, I created the health grid, and it's in the shape of a spiral, and it has sunflowers. And I just wanted to add an element of, because the sunflower is the bright yellow, I wanted that, to enhance the grid and just sort of bring an element of happiness and, brightness to the grid. So there really is no rhyme or reason. If you want to place a meaningful locket on your grid, or a piece of, a little snippet of your child's hair, like whatever is meaningful to you is what's going to work best.
Awesome. And so that's really kind of cool about it, because, we're bringing in the elements, right? And that's what I love about this, is bringing in the elements and doing it in a way that's intuitive for us. Because, I'm also struck by, what you're writing in the book, and really saying to folks, let your own inner guidance create these. And there's no right or wrong way. And sometimes people are like, oh, no, I didn't do it right. And, I mentioned that before. What should we be mindful of? Is there anything that you could think of that you've learned over time that perhaps people don't know a lot about?
Mindful of the fact that you are the expert, and that the book is a guide. The book is a really easy way to, those 30 different grids. You can literally buy those crystals and you can place them right on the book. but to be mindful that there are no real crystal experts. I mean, I'm just a stay-at-home mom, like with a business, and I get just as stressed out and frazzled as everyone else, and I don't have all the answers, but I create beautiful crystal grids that make real changes in my life. And so I think it's really important to just kind of take that guesswork and the doubt out of it and to just really trust yourself. A little funny story, when I started my business a couple years, or when I first kind of, it took me a year to start the business. But before I kind of ventured off into figuring out exactly how I was going to do everything, I made a grid and I placed it in my office, and I had a little affirmation. And that grid sat there for, I guess, a year. And then 2 months into business, sales shot through the roof. We were in Cameron Diaz's and Gwyneth Paltrow's gift guides, and it was just like, then we were in the Huffington Post, and like everything. It was just madness. And I sort of stopped in the middle of all of that, and I looked at my grid, and I thought, I created a success grid. And it's not like I had been stopping every day to like say the affirmation, but I think our intentions are so powerful. And when we even just take a minute to put them on paper, and we don't have to always actively be doing something. We always think it's, to achieve a result, we got to really try, and we've got to like struggle and work at it every day. Sometimes just the power of setting your intentions and then walking away and releasing it is just enormously powerful, and you'll look back and think, wow, that manifested.
Right. And that's really what's kind of cool in talking with you today, because I know that we're learning so much about energy and quantum physics and the laws of the universe and following our inner guide, all of the above. And again, I want to mention for those of you out there, please give us a call. I think we'll go ahead and skip the break, Benny. 1-800-930-2819. 1-800-930-2819. But the one thing that I think ties back into our caller is sometimes we come across crystals that, and I have several of them in here that I've never seen. I have a geode that's cracked open, and it's this beautiful light blue crystal. It's gorgeous. Don't know what it is. Still don't know what it is.
Sounds like it's blessite.
And I just love it. I don't know why I love it, and I don't know what it does. What are some of the what did you say it was?
I think it's a celestite.
Yeah, okay. So I don't even know what that does. But how do we discover what they do? Like somehow I love it. I don't know why I love it. It's in a little geode, and sometimes I'll take it from room to room. Why am I doing that?
Well, what's funny, Dr. Pat, is that blue is like blue crystals tend to be crystals that help us with expressing our thoughts and freedom of expression. And you are so amazing at, the way you express yourself. This is what you do. This is your career. So it doesn't surprise me that you love a crystal that is meant for that. So that's actually quite amazing.
Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah.
And we're right in the middle of a super creative burst here right now. I mean, I've talked about this on air that we're developing technology that actually doesn't exist in this form of media, because we're not really radio people. We're people that want to reach people and help them. Yeah. And so we're in this place where we're pulling our ideas together and making some changes. But what's happening is the ideas are getting bigger, not more bigger and easier. So like it's all coming together. How can we use crystals to really help that? Like if I were to bring them in the office for us.
Well, there's no real rhyme or reason. I'd say build an office grid. Why not? There's certain shapes in the book that really promote harmony. So the Borromean rings are really great for that. But I would say, why not build a beautiful office grid with everybody in the office contributing to it.
Awesome. Wow, I love that idea.
Mm-hmm.
I love that idea. Okay, so here's my question for you now.
Yeah.
You've written a book. This is the world you live in.
Yeah.
What has changed about you as you were writing the book? How have you changed? And what aha moments did you have in putting this book together?
Aha moments. I have them all the time. I think one of the things that's really sort of been a consistent message for me is that you don't have to be perfect. Like, to achieve a certain result, I think I myself put a lot of pressure on myself to, like, okay, I've got to be this way, and I've got to, like, talk a certain way, and I've got to act a certain way, and I got to eat healthy, and I got to exercise, and you don't have to be perfect for success to come. That's just a myth. And I remember at my book launch, I had somebody raise their hand. They're like, "You're so poised, and you sound like you're so confident." I'm like, I am clearly fooling you. You know what I mean? And it's like, so one of the aha moments is you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to wait for a specific moment in your life if you want to achieve something, if you want to manifest a certain result. The time is now, and you really don't have to wait. So that's what I learned.
Wow. It's so interesting because I was looking on your website. I was looking at littleboxofrocks.com. And I also love the idea that you actually have a subscription option for people so that every month they will be able to get this and get messages. Because, look, I think we're all really busy. Wouldn't it be cool, like every month, to know you're going to get something special like this to add to your collection? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so with our subscriber option, our subscribers can collect, I think it's 32 or so.
Yeah, 30. There's a special
32?
offer on it. Yeah.
Right. So you sign up, and at the end of it, you have basically a very large collection and each crystal comes with its own little description of what it is, so you know exactly what everything is, and as a bonus, you're going to receive a secret message. And so that's kind of like a fortune cookie, in that you get what you get. It's a surprise, and so every month you're going to get that with your crystals as well. And it's sort of just every month is a little reminder to tune in and focus, and it's a unique message for you every month to sort of inspire your month.
Wow. I want to ask you, I saved this kind of for last.
Yeah.
My journey kind of started, and let's just call it more intensively, when I got a diagnosis in 2004. And, we hear about the healing properties of crystals. Not only do we hear about them, they're in our pop culture, they're in our movies, they're in the blockbuster. I mean, there's something somewhere that we're hearing about. And I want to ask you this question. It seems like people are so drawn to understanding the healing properties, and yet we just don't use them enough. I know for me, it was my go-to. I had to. Tell us about crystals and healing, if you would.
Well, and the idea is that we don't wait until we have to. We don't wait until something stops us in our tracks. And so, I mean, the beauty of crystals is that they really help us to change our thoughts. So each crystal holds its own energetic properties and its own meanings, but that in itself is not enough. The crystals, they don't come in and they're not these magical crystals that just, make these changes in our lives without us doing any of the work. They're tools. And so when we keep them around, they cause us to tune in to the thoughts that we need to choose, because thoughts are a choice, to heal our lives. And so the energy that they carry influences our energy, but at the end of the day, we are the ones. We are the ones with the power. We are the ones that choose our thoughts, and the crystals are just a tool.
Awesome. You know, we have a few minutes left, and I just want to ask you to share this, if you don't mind. So many stories in the book, so many examples, so many case studies, so many ideas. Is there a story that comes to mind that you'd like to share and leave us with today?
I mean, we have amazing stories coming in about all the time. I mean, we just sent a gift out to a woman who lost her son, and we've had, you know, people keep their crystals, gift sets with them going through chemotherapy. So there's, I mean, those stories are just endless. I mean, personally, I found it really funny that, like, when I was actually born in Thunder Bay, Canada, which is the amethyst capital of the world.
Yeah.
And growing up, we didn't have a lot of money, so our summer vacations were spent camping, in the, like, real camping, not at the campground. Like, we actually went to the woods and pitched tents. And so I would go in these remote streams and collect crystals, and I would find pyrite everywhere.
Yes.
And my dad told me a story about a guy who went into the woods in that same park that we are camping. It's called Quetico Park. And he went into the woods and he stumbled upon this massive cave of gold. And it was like, it became a legend in the little town. And he ran back to town. He told everybody about it. There was a big commotion. Everybody was all excited about this town. And he was flown to England. The Queen heard about it. But by the time they were going to fly him back to go search for this cave of gold, he passed away. And so growing up, I would search for this pyrite, which is actually fool's gold. So I would search for pyrite, and I'd find clusters of pyrite everywhere. And now, being an entrepreneur and knowing what that means, pyrite is an amazing stone for entrepreneurs and people with creative ideas. It's an intensely positive energy stone, and I keep one on my desk, and it's believed to infuse that space with positive energy. But I find it kind of funny that as a child I was drawn to that, and that story, it was such a magical story for me, and it was like that was my childhood, and now it's my absolute favorite crystal.
Wow. I can't believe that you and I have that in common. Mine is not quite like yours. I had to take a geometry class. I had to take a geology class in a business curriculum. And this professor could not stand us business people. But what he had was, on our field trip, the person that found the pyrite in the actual stone would get an A. Who do you think found it? Who do you think found it?
You found it.
OMG.
Wow.
He propped me up as some kind of genius for finding it. And I was the business student. I wasn't the major.
Right.
And
that
isn't that funny?
sense.
We have those. Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
I love it.
Oh, gosh. I got an A. I didn't have to do any other work. I found.
Really? Oh, that's awesome. I love it.
I found the pyrite in a rock in New Jersey.
Yeah, it's a success stone. It doesn't surprise me that you would find that.
Oh, my gosh. Wow. Thank you so much. This hour went so fast, Kiera. Last question. What's your personal message? What would you like to leave us with today? And thank you so much.
Sorry, what was the question?
What's your personal message? What would you like to leave us with today?
The personal message is to just tune into yourself and don't look to experts. Take time today. Like, if there's anything that I want people to take away from hearing this, if you only heard a snippet, to just walk away and just tune in, look around, and kind of try to see life not with your physical eyes, but with your intuition, and see if you do sense any messages. See what the universe has to say to you today. I bet at the end of the day there will be a message. Oh, man, I'm already getting it. Thank you so much. Kiera Fogg, everybody. The book is amazing. Crystal Gridwork. Please check out, especially the subscription at Little Box of Rocks, as well as go and check out KieraFogg.com. Thank you so much, Kiera.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's so much fun. Benny, thank you so much. And as I said before, Laura and Andy are in the house. All right, everybody. We'll see you in a minute.
preceding audio was via a Skype call.